San Antonio area remains under a tornado watch tonight.
And we're seeing flight cancellations and lots of delays on a busy travel night at San Antonio International.
So let's get to our first alert team coverage tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Vanessa Croy is live in Northwest San Antonio.
But first, Bill Taylor and Stacia Wilson are tracking these dangerous storms. Bill?
Boy, I tell you, this is incredible, Sharon. The entire state is under the threat of severe weather tonight. So far, funnel clouds have been confined to the Abilene area and San Antonio on the tail end of this entire severe weather threat. The good news is some of these storms are beginning to weaken on their approach. The bad news is, as they sit across the Texas Hill Country, we're starting to see some flooding problems. This is going to be from Kerrville through Fredericksburg with flood advisories already in effect. The other bad news is that we cannot rule anything out. This tornado watch is in effect until 2 a.m. There is a lot of incredible cloud-to-ground lightning that is very dangerous with this entire squall line. But the line itself that has been very active across the Hill Country and spots west is beginning to weaken on its approach into the city. We're still going to get some very heavy rain. Embedded in here, definitely some pea-sized hail that we've seen. And then I'm watching the tail end of this. As some new storms are beginning to develop near Camp Wood and Uvalde, we could see that grow a little farther south as this front sweeps in from the west. But let's talk about hail and just what we're seeing embedded in this squall line. Meteorologist Stacia Wilson in the First Alert Weather Center. Stacia?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Good evening, everyone. Of course, when we forecast the threat of severe weather, one thing that we take into consideration is hail, just because it can cause damage to property. It can also cause injury to people or pets if you're caught outside during this hailstorm. So that is one thing that we want to warn you about. And we're looking at the current reports right now of hail that we're receiving. For example, I'm going to click right here and see what it says. Hail size, about ½ an inch, just east of Camp Wood, just a little bit north of Hondo. It definitely has dissipated over the last, I would say, hour or so. We were receiving more reports, about the same, just right by it. And also earlier this evening, take a look at this. We received reports almost 2 inches there in Camp Wood. So we also appreciate the photos that you all have sent in. I think Sharon, Jeff, you guys even have some more on that.